Hi, event planners. It's Leslie Burns, just checking in with you on some quick tips for fundraising for you nonprofits out there. Let's look at the dinner dance. This is something that you can plan any time of the year. It doesn't have to be only, for example, let's say yard sales, flea markets, those are things that people do in the spring and summer. Christmas bazaars, of course, are done at Christmas time. Dinner dances are something you can do year round. Depends on the weather. It doesn't depend on the weather. Excuse me. It doesn't depend on anything in particular. It just depends on you putting the event together. I would recommend having a couple months ahead of time to prepare. I do want to say that kind of on the downside to planning this, summer might present a little bit of a challenge because people are on vacation. People do take vacations. A lot of your people who would participate may or may not be around. Fall is a great time of year for this. Midwinter and spring, lovely. But summer can be a little bit more of a challenge. But you can do it. It depends on your group and if you pre-sell your tickets. Okay, let's talk about the nuts and bolts to a dinner dance. What goes into that for those of you who don't know? You need a venue or a facility. If you have one of those that is not going to charge you, like a school or a church or even a corporate meeting site, or you know someone at a hotel and they've got a banquet room, those are ideal. But let's think outside the box. You can have a dinner dance outside in a nice large, not just small, large yard. If you got an acre or more, you can do it. I would say inside makes the best and is the easiest to do because you don't have to worry about weather elements, you don't have to worry about bugs, you don't have to worry about the grass. But it can be done on the outside, so depending on what theme you are using and who's coming, it could be an outdoor event as well. But we're going to focus on the indoor events for now. With a dinner dance, as I say, you'll need a venue or a facility. Now you're going to also need some tables, chairs. You're going to need a sound system. You are going to need some food and beverages. Those are some of the mainstays that you're going to need for a dinner dance. If you're going to be dancing, let's talk about getting a DJ or a band, some sound system in. You could do a dinner dance without both of those if you've got someone that is audibly or who can handle the audio for you and has got a great iPod set. That could work. However, the downside to the iPod is if it malfunctions, if the person is not timely, if their selections are not ideal for your crowd, or if for some reason there is a failing of connection between the iPod and the audio system in existence. So just be careful with that one. I don't recommend that. I prefer a band or a DJ. But I've seen it done with an iPod. It depends on your budget. Okay, so let's say we've got some music. You got to know who your target crowd is. A dinner dance typically is, I shouldn't say, but I'll say more of the middle-aged males with the younger females, teenagers, 20s. But I've seen it with young children. I've seen it with older men. It doesn't matter. I've seen it with moms and sons. You just need to think of who you're reaching out to. You may already have a group in mind, maybe parishioners from your church or coworkers. And then there's no limit. You're not limiting it to one group or another. You're just trying to target your food and your music, your time of evening to the group. That's best. I always say if it's young people, under the age of 21, I don't do anything in the morning for them because they are the sleepiest bunch. So they would prefer late night, at 9:30 to start something. If it is an older crowd, the gray hairs, the silver hairs, the white hairs, that should be, early afternoon, early evening at latest, because they typically don't do the late night things. If you've got a bunch of class, middle age workers, bees, they don't mind any time of day, morning, noon, or night. They're out there because they're used to being out and about because of those jobs. So looks at the crowd. Okay, now let's talk about the event. Okay, we've got our venue. We know we're not going to have to pay a lot for that. And even if you do have to pay for it, that's fine, because you're probably going to sell tickets. The cost of your tickets could cover that. But you need a venue. You need to know how much that's going to cost you and what comes in that cost. If you are going to have to pay, are they providing tables? Are they providing chairs? Are they providing linen to cover those tables and napkins for each guest to use when eating? Are they providing the audio equipment? Does it come with an audio technician? If it doesn't, these are things that you will have to plan for. You can talk with someone at the school or at the church because they're used to doing audio. Maybe they'll volunteer their services and come in and help you with this event, and that's one less thing you have to pay for. Just give them credit on the program and let everyone know. Go singing their praises that this person did this as a volunteer effort. It's marketing and promotion for them. Okay, so you've got your venue, you've got your tables, your chairs, you have linen. If the place doesn't supply it, then of course you'll have to make moves to get that for yourself for the event, and that's fine. Plenty of rental companies out there that will bring it in, set it up, it'll look beautiful for you. If you don't have the budget to do that, you can think about going to a store and purchasing. Every table doesn't have to look identical. If you spend your time and you just say, okay, we're going to use 84-inch oblong tablecloths, you can find those at many thrift shops. People get rid of them, and you can have 5 different colors throughout your event, or however you want to set it up. But just think about the expenses and where you want to spend your money. I would say you want to make sure that you have great music and you want to have good food. That's what people are coming for. A lot of the other things are just extras. I would not spend a lot on flowers on the table. You could use a very small bud vase with a single stem rose, some baby's breath, and a ribbon. Very pretty. Allows people to talk over top of it. And it's not expensive. You can do that yourself. You just basically buy the bud vases at a dollar store, and you get the roses at Sam's Club or BJ's, or even a grocery store has that type of thing for you. And it doesn't even have to be genuine. They can be silk flowers, but genuine is considered a step above. Anyway, so you've got your place, now let's talk about your food. If it is a facility that has a full kitchen, all you need is someone to come in and cook. If you have a caterer, that's great. That is the preferred method. If you don't have a caterer, then you can bring in someone to cater. Just let them know what your budget is, and they will work with you on the budget. So if you say, well, I've got $15 per person, or you expect to have it because you haven't sold your tickets yet, but you expect to have $15 per person, then they will know how to plan accordingly. If you've got $57 per person or $500 per person to spend for food, then of course your menu options are going to be very different. But let them know what you're working with, and they will help you prepare your menu. And beverages, I would say go with the non-alcoholic option because it keeps everybody in a great frame of mind and safe coming and going. Oftentimes, though, people do want to have alcohol at these things, so maybe a cash bar. This way it limits the amount of drinking that an individual will do, and you have less liability with them leaving and going home. It also is less expensive on you because you only have to pay a certain amount up front, and if you have receipts that exceed a certain dollar amount, oftentimes there is no charge to you. So I like the cash bar option, and if you are going to do a bar, you can always limit that to only, let's say, beer or wine or a specific cocktail. That's up to you how you do it, but a dinner dance is a fun event for all. It raises a lot of money. I've seen tickets for dinner dances upwards in the $100. I wouldn't set it too high if it's your first one. I would start with something, $20 or $30 because, again, the people who are coming are, they're buying in twos, and then typically people are going to get dolled up for the event. So that means new dresses, new shoes, Depending on who is the male, it might be tuxedos or at least nice suits. Everybody's getting their hair done. So you got to think of the expense on the end consumer when you set your ticket prices too. So build in a little extra to make that profit, but at the same time, you got to make sure that you are covering or that they're able to cover their expenses to come to the event. And lastly, within this one thing, don't forget your photographer. You want somebody to capture this event, and if you can get maybe one of those cute photo booths. People love those. It's fun at the end of the event or during the event. They can all walk over in groups, one or two at a time, take pictures. They've got memories right there on the spot. And at the end of the night, you've got a photographer that has captured all the special moments. You could put maybe on a video to sell later. You could put online. It's any number of things that you can do. But dinner dances are fun, and they raise great money. And if you have any questions about what to do, how to do it, please reach out to me at info@goldcrowneventplanners.com. And I'm Leslie. I'll talk to you later. Have a great day. Thank you.